Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. Trek is back on TV. Yeah, let's go. I'm just going to say it right now before we even get started. The new overlay is dope, Eric. And the new intro is even doper. Like, I'm a very happy boy right now. Well done, sir. Welcome back.
God damn. I had the pre-show. It's so close.
So close. It's okay. It's okay. That's for next week,
I guess.
We're back with new Trek. I'm your Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew this side of the Titan's ample impulse drives. We have Rear Admiral Eric, who I know at this very moment is humming the new Picard theme in his head.
It's the old Picard theme.
No, not the old Picard theme. The theme that when the Titan leaves space dock. That awesome theme. Yes, that is a big fucking glass.
He could be bigger.
It could be bigger. Commander Hawk is here, and all I know is that he is smiling from ear to ear. It's legit. It's not even fake. I could see it. I know Hawk's smile. And finally, our newest co-host, Lieutenant Commander MC, is here. And speaking of Lieutenant Commander MC, I have a bit of an announcement regarding you. You know what it is. One other person in the chat knows what it is because they don't miss anything.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make this little announcement. We've had such a good time with you already as a member of this co-hosting collective, and that TNG Kelvin pitch was just like such the shit show that I was hoping that it would be. That we decided to make this a permanent post on the Strange New Pod bridge. So a very warm welcome and congratulations to you.
That was a promotion so quick that Harry Kim is in a corner crying.
I think Harry Kim is in a white room right now. It's not going
worked so
good
hard
for
them.
Haven already knows I called them out. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry, Haven. Yeah, it's what I do best. Welcome back, guys. Let's open those space doors. How we doing, Eric? You've been on sabbatical at Starfleet Academy.
Oh, I'm all right.
the usual answer. I love
He's
it.
taking a course on replicator technology.
Yeah,
Sort of,
I
technically.
don't know. That sounds like there's some sort of cover-up going on with Wesley Crusher.
What?
That's why it's so...
Oh.
and Tom Nick Locarno Paris.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah. MC, you're at
I'm
what's it called?
at Gallifrey 1,
Gallifrey 1.
a Doctor Who convention, hence the background. So
Awesome. Hawk is where Hawk always is. And Draft is not here tonight. She is doing a lecture at Starfleet Academy tonight. She'll be back next week. But this week, Star Trek Picard's final season has arrived. It's getting me a little bit used to. I got a new webcam. It's a little bit differently placed. It's going to take a minute for me to get used to. It's all good. Yes, the final season has arrived. Tonight we deep dive the premiere episode, The Next Generation. Perfectly titled. What happens when Beverly comes under attack? How do Will and Jean-Luc go on board the Titan to investigate? While startling, I know it was really bad. What startling discovery does Rafi make while deep undercover? And what's up with Titan's captain, Liam Shaw? And who and what do Will and Jean-Luc discover when they board the Helios? We're going to break it all down. But first,
Borg
Eric,
babies.
you are back. Or what?
Borg babies.
It's always Borg babies.
always Borg babies.
Always Borg babies. I'm not getting off your bridge, Chris. I hit the button for myself before we even started the show.
It was bad.
It was really bad. Could you thank our Patreon collective at the Ready Room level and above, sir?
Of course. Oh, I should have put my other webcam over there so I could have done the 2-camera thing. Anyway.
Oh, that was fun when you did that the one time.
Thank you to Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santo, Kung Hui, Takako Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Mark, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Laura Linderman, Colin Davidson, Alan Davis, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, MC.
It hasn't been updated
I
yet.
didn't tell him. I said I would. I didn't.
Michael Graham, Emily and Travis, Gildara, Cassie. The Canadian is French. I guess it is sometimes. Maggie Light, Picard. That's great. Wayne Ritz, Skona Bark, Sean, Jay Howard, Mahalani Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Joshua Lewis, Cassie McIntosh, David Willett, Tara Poslin, Slope 74, Rude Parakeet, and our newest collective member, Alex
Hey.
Sharkey.
Hey,
Yay.
welcome. We want to get right into our review and the Stranger Loop because we have a lot to talk about tonight. But I do just want to say a quick, just like we really hope that you all had a blast this past week during Captain Picard Week 2. It was so much fun to put on. It was a shit ton of work. You guys know that, but I'm doing it all over again. Just so many people interacting, so many great pods. We're coming up with what we're doing next year. It was a blast. Just an absolute hell of a good time. So thank you. Thank you for your interest. And if you have some ideas of what you want us to do next year, put them in the chat. We will listen. We will get our collective minds together, go in an alcove, and figure it out. So
The best of Doctor Who.
the best of Doctor Who.
See, I was going to say Captain Pike Week.
Captain Pike Week is definitely a good option. I'm already on board. I almost made another pun. Brittany's wearing off on me. I didn't even see her in months.
You should do it.
I should. Julian will soon have a 3-day nap. I have kids. That's just not possible.
That's not going to happen.
I'm
Nope.
sorry. Guys, let's get right to it. Let's get to the Strange New Loop. So, if you guys were in Jean-Luc's position tonight, right, besides going to Will Riker, who he kind of has to go to because of the whole Myriad Hellbird thing, would you have gone along with this plan and used Starfleet and the Titan, or would you have reached out to other allies that you've made over the past, 25, 30 years that you've been in Starfleet?
Oh.
Well, yeah.
I know this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Based on Picard season 1, I would go to a complete set of random strangers
Yeah.
and bring them on an adventure. No, I would obviously. It would be Riker first, obviously.
Yeah.
Can't go to Data, obviously.
But you can't go to Data.
It would be.
But you can't go to Data.
No, it would be one of the TNG crew. So it'd probably be Geordi.
Okay. But you wouldn't go through the proper Starfleet channels.
Fuck no. If you're an admiral and retired, you just go do what you want.
As always, chat, let us know your answers too. I'm very curious how this is going to turn out. Chris,
Riker Week said Matt Harker. Yes.
Yes. How many times we could do a contest of how many times we could lift our leg over a chair. It'd be fun. Hawk, what about you?
I would go with Riker. I don't see that he really has any other options. We can't trust anybody in Starfleet, but I mean, Will, he's the number one. He always has been, always will be. As we learned, I don't know he could actually approach other members of the crew at this point in time.
I don't know about that.
I think he could.
Other than
I don't
Beverly,
know.
it seems like he's only been she's the only one that's kept away based on what has been said in this season so far.
Yeah, we
Right.
don't know what Worf's doing in that, so I don't know if he could reach out to him. Yeah, it's still
Enterprise-y.
it's still Riker. Yeah, it's still Riker I go to. If I'm Jean-Luc at this point, I'm going to Will.
All right. MC?
Well, since it has been decided that I am part of the Tal Shiar, no, if I were in Jean-Luc's position, I mean, it's such a horrible position to be in because, as we discovered in season 1, there's been a lot of burned bridges with Picard. So he's not really I know he's an admiral again, but I still don't think everything's too comfy. And
He's a retired admiral though, so he doesn't have any real authority.
Exactly.
Right.
And who out of the TNG crew is he going to go to? It's going to be Will and it's going to be Bev. And if Will's not an option in this, Bev's not an option in this. So, I mean, he could maybe go to some of the others, but I mean, I think here 7 was his best. The only mistake that I think he made is not looping 7 in right away.
Right away. Yeah. Yeah. Over in the chat, we also have Captain Janeway Week, which I would totally be on board with before Prodigy.
I'm sure you could go to Janeway, actually, to be honest. They have a strong bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she
Janeway's
gets shit
definitely an option.
done.
Yeah.
Actually, if you were going to reach out outside of your social network and that to allies you made along the way, who does Picard reach out to then?
Well, so many people, in my opinion. One, I would obviously still bring in Will, like everybody said. He is your number one. Though that does also say if you trust nobody, would you trust the person that you think you trust the most?
Yeah.
Right?
He makes a good pizza, so yes.
He does make a good pizza. It's true. But he has so many connections and so many people that he's helped along the way. The Vulcans, like he definitely has favors within, Spock's family, whether it's through Sarek's widow or, another line. He's been the centerpiece of Klingon politics whenever they've needed an arbiter of succession. I said that specifically for you, Hawk.
So you basically suggest that the opening is just like the ending of It's a Wonderful Life, where everybody just kind of gathers together. It's like Jean-Luc's in trouble.
I think Will and Jean-Luc would go through the options.
Yeah.
Other than Starfleet, when Bev specifically says don't get Starfleet involved. And the first thing they do is board like the fanciest starship in the fleet. Like it's just what it is.
I wonder how many of the crew is still in Starfleet too, right? That's 20 years later. Who knows who's retired and who's left?
I mean, is La Sirena the only ship that was for rent?
Yeah. Oh my God. So yeah, I don't know, but he has so many allies. I would definitely go to the Klingons. I would definitely go to the Vulcans. Shit, I would go to Laris. She's Tal Shiar. Why would you not use her more? This would actually be, listen, I love this premiere, but the one mind-boggling thing that I cannot escape is keep Orla Brady in the show. Like you have a super secret spy mission and everything's going to shit. You're dating a member of the Tal Shiar.
You know why they're doing this, right?
Because of Bev.
Because they're going to kill her, and then he's going to.
No, they're not going to kill.
No, they're not going to kill. No. We can talk more about this when we actually get to that.
Oh, yeah, she's going to die.
But a lot of people saying I would seek out Janeway. Let's see. A big question when we get to Rafi. Matt Harker says, what else? He could go, seek out the Klingons. What else? Picard mentions that one.
We did leave out the most important man in Starfleet.
Chief O'Brien.
Miles O'Brien.
Yep. Definitely owes him a favor as well. So, anything else on the strange new loop? No? Good.
Let's get into this.
Let's get it. Hawk is so ready to go.
I'm laughing at Giraffe. She's like, "Shut up, Eric. Eric, take that back." She's gonna die.
Oh my God, she's so mad at you. Wait, how is Giraffe
mamas.
doing a lecture? And in the chat, I'm very confused. Are you actually lecturing Giraffe? We want to know.
Giraffe, butt bugs are gonna kill her. Butt bugs.
Oh my God.
I want to know what the hell is going on.
It's butt bugs.
Butt bugs.
It's always butt bugs.
Always butt bugs. Let's get into our review of episode 301, The Next Generation. Our order tonight, I'm going back to basics so we could start fresh because MC's here. So we'll go with seniority. It'll go Eric, Hawk, MC, followed by myself. Let's get into the cold open. We'll get that beautiful new, like, what is old is new. You get the in the 25th century, which is right out of Wrath of Khan, and then the like bum bum bum, and then it goes into the song that Hawk started singing and is now stuck in my head.
I just want to set the world on fire. The ink spots are awesome.
They are.
That song's beautiful. So it opens up with that and Easter eggs from Jean-Luc and Beverly's past, including the masks, which we were debating earlier. They are a connection from TNG, or they're just because they both love theater.
Just because she's a theater.
They're both theater nerds.
Yeah.
One of the logs that's playing is right out of Best of Both Worlds. There's hypo sprays. I think there's a glass of Romulan ale. There's one of the old TNG crates that were constantly falling on Worf.
There is also a strange plaque commemorating the medical away team for Kokorolai 5 and the Ferrex plague.
Which is how Picard realized that what's her face was lying in that one episode. What was it?
Yes, Allegiance.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's something else too. Now that Hawks was like, oh yeah, there was one other thing.
There's so many things in this.
Jack
we could
Crusher's
do a whole
Starfleet.
Oh yeah,
personal
Jack
effects,
Crusher's personal effects. Yep. We're already into the Easter egg hunt. We're not at the end
we
of the
could do
show.
an Easter egg hunt just
from the cold open.
Oh my God.
Yeah, MC is absolutely right. So Bev is woken up by proximity warning, and the ship is boarded by these weird clicking aliens. I will tell you, I have no idea who they are. Still don't. So your guesses are as good as mine. She activates the ship's warp drive, not before like going full John McClane, blazing Bev, just wrecking folks, kicking some ass, vaporizing some bad guys with a phaser rifle, but not before she's injured as well. So right before her ship goes to warp, she sends a coded message with a myriad codec to Jean-Luc. Warps, then credits. I actually got ahead of myself. I think that in the 25th century, no, that was it, and then it went into the bomb. Yeah, whatever. It's all fun. What do we think about the cold open, Eric?
It's amazing. Like in the 25th century, like that. Just starting with that. Was that right before this, or was it right after that?
It was right before I mixed it up. It was,
so having that like mirror, what was it, Khan that did that right before the movie?
Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the opening with the Ink Spot song mirroring the first episode of the first season of Picard, like, which, you know, was already the end of Data. So this is like the end of Picard. So like we're already doing a lot of like mirroring, and there's so many things that I want to talk about in this cold open that we can't talk about because I know me and Julian have seen the first number of episodes, but if you watch this again, there's way more stuff that you're gonna just be like, oh shit, this is here for that reason. Yes. Again, like starting off on a high note with such an amazing actions piece with a character that you don't really, you know, imagine doing the actiony stuff. She wasn't really in any of the movies doing anything. She sort of shuffled people off in First Contact, and that was the last thing I remember her doing in any of the TNG movies.
So just to interrupt you real quick, we were at the premiere in New York City on Monday with the Q&A after, and Gates did not hold back. She just sarcastically on the stage said, "Wait, I was in those movies?"
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair. She was.
It's fair.
She was a glorified cameo in those.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but like she did some amazing work here. Like, who knew that Bev would be that badass? Especially, you know, we don't know what her situation is. It looks like she's been on the run for such a long time, based on the rickety ship and all the crazy, you know, the boxes and everything. It doesn't look like a medical ship that she would be running. We expect her to be in that ship that we saw. Yeah, the Pasteur, right?
Yeah.
But who knows? And then we get that mystery character who we know, you know, who it is later. But like, it's all like, there's so many shrouded mysteries and then connections to the past in this beginning that just whets your appetite enough to be like, this season's going to be something else. And it is. And you can tell that from just the first 10, 15 minutes of this episode and the whole episode. Let's be honest.
Yep. Hawk.
Oh man. I first watched this a couple weeks ago, and that just the intro alone blew me away. And that cinematography wise, it looked great. Like the action was crazy good. And as Julian said, he's like, start making a list of all the things you see in this, and I did. I'm already frazzled and trying to think back on it.
That's fair, man.
That's so good. For one thing that really popped out at me was like how excited I got and just the choice of fonts that they decided to use, and that, just that simple blue, not going forward.
It was beautiful.
They used three main fonts that they haven't used in a long time. They used a Wrath of Khan font. They used two TNG fonts, which they don't really use, which is the title font and the credit font.
Yeah, the end credit font. Yep.
And then there's another font I noticed. I was like, what? They're just going. The good thing about this season is that they actually got Michael Okuda to come back and do a lot of the designs with the production team. So they really got that TNG feel and that old Star Trek feel.
Yeah.
Plus mixing that with the music.
Exactly, the music. I mean, like, you could tell, like, right off the bat that they were going in an entirely different direction from like the previous two seasons, and that through the choices of actions and everything, and then the music and font together, and that like the old school like sweeping Star Trek theme. I was so excited.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Michael Kwan says this episode has broken Hawk.
Yes, it has. It kind of really has.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
In the best way.
In the best way. Yeah. MC.
Well, Bev Crusher back in TNG, like, I did not realize why I admired her so much, and it wasn't for many years later until I realized just how much of a crush that I have on her.
Ah, yes.
And now seeing her in this opening, it's like I am just so gay for Beverly Crusher. Because it was such a great opening. It's just how the slow build of it. Because I mean, when you're going over all of these things at first, it's slow to realize it's like, oh wait, this is all of Bev's stuff. Like, what's going on with Bev? Why is all of Bev's stuff on this very dark ship? Why is she alone? Mm-hmm. And then just going into Bev, the action hero, who I want this so much for her. And just that intriguing coded message, just, and of course, the only person she would ever reach out to is Jean-Luc Picard.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It all worked. Beautiful. It was a great opening.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, all her stuff in that, it's such a weird thing in that, like, you know, all your personal possessions in this rickety looking kind of broken down ship. Like, you know, what is going on with her?
Yeah. One of the things I noticed immediately with this opening was, you know, when we talked about Will Riker and Jonathan Frakes in season 1, Jonathan Frakes said in a lot of interviews he had a lot of anxiety getting back into the role. He hadn't acted in a long time. He'd always been behind the camera doing directing. I mean, he still killed it. But the first lines out of her mouth, it was like she had never been off TV. It was just the Bev that we know and love. I got goosebumps. I get goosebumps talking about it. It's incredible. I love that there are just some actors who are just, you know, naturals at their craft and just such masters. And I mean, I was all in. The minute that lines came out of her mouth, I was like, oh shit, it's Bev.
Yeah.
The other thing I get from her ship, and I will echo what I said to Hawk weeks ago when we got our screeners, and I'll say it to everyone in the chat now as you've watched the first episode. Get a notepad, get it on your phone, get a pen and paper, write down everything you see. And also do that in the end credits because everything that you see is important. The one thing that I have not talked about with anyone yet, and the vibes that I get from Bev's ship as we're talking about, it's kind of like, almost like it's like kind of like the Falcon, right? It's, you know, more like a smuggler craft. I have a strong feeling that her and Seven probably crossed paths a few times. Like, I'm sure that Bev was helping set the Fenris Rangers because
I don't doubt
the
that.
things that she was doing seems very Fenris Ranger-y. So I
just
love
had 5 fan fictions pop into my head.
Nice. So I was all in. The minute that the credits hit, I was like, I'm sure it can, but I don't think that this episode is going to do any wrong. It was such a great way to pull us in. Yeah. Matt says Bez a hoarder.
Or he is.
Or he is, or the other guy.
You're not a hoarder if your stuff's cool.
That's true.
Maybe it's all useful. We just don't know.
Yeah, and very true. Anything else on the cold open? No? Well, we go back to the chateau. This Chateau Picard. Yes, I'm drinking Chateau Picard tonight. There's spring cleaning happening. And we also get Bev's message in the scene. Picard and Laris, they're going on a trip to Calto 4. Is that the planet?
Calto 4.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's going to be an extended trip.
Yep. And I wrote thighs here. I don't think I was talking about Laris's thighs, but I think that was
Jean-Luc's.
Maybe Jean-Luc's thighs. They're packing their things up at the chateau. You know, he wants to give the painting of the Enterprise D to Geordi, which I'm like, me and Laris are on the same page. Like, don't give that away, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Give it to me. Shall Talk 4. Thank you, Michael Kwan. So while in his study, writing some late night notes to folks, I'm assuming like old friends, people who knew in France, maybe his old friend that we see in Family, probably the rest of the TNG crew, maybe to Rafi, maybe to Elnor, the people that work at the vineyard. Lots of people give early on letters to. All of a sudden he hears the familiar chirp of a TNG communicator, which is locked with a myriad codec, which I love that scene where he's like, codec, and the computer's like, a codec is like, yes, I know what a codec is. So he uses his old authorization code, which is my favorite because I have it memorized, Picard 47 Alpha Tango, to unlock it, and boom, Bev's message, Hellbird, no Starfleet, trust no one, goosebumps. And of course he brings this up to Laris because Laris, as we talked about earlier, she's Tal Shiar. She's intelligence. She can read messages like this and see what's underlying in them. Laris also realizes that they're not going to be able to continue their relationship at this moment in time because she's doing her thing and he is always going to be Starfleet to the core. Mm-hmm. And then we know he's off. Thoughts on this moment and this scene, Eric?
I loved it. I love that it shows that they're... Because the thing going into this season and seeing the trailers and being like, hey, look, it's all the TNG people, was me thinking there's going to be this whole reset of this whole series and there's no repercussions for the last 2 seasons. And then we get to see Laris and be like, oh, look, they actually are moving forward with their lives. And that's a nice little thing to see, even though she's going to die by butt bugs.
Oh my God, stop.
She's not.
She's going to die. I lost my train of thought because I'm laughing at myself.
Because of butt bugs.
I like that he immediately thinks of his crew when he's like, this should go to someone who would appreciate it. Geordi's going to appreciate this painting. I'm going to give that to him. And that shows more of his character, like how much this crew truly means to him, because he wouldn't be like, you know what, let's give it to a museum. He's not like Indiana Jones. So I guess Indiana Jones would have stolen something and then put it in a museum. But then he's sending out the letters, which is cool, and hearing that chirp was just like the perfect moment, because you're just sitting there like, God, it's been such a long time since you heard that new. And obviously it surprised him too. You could see it on his face. You could see it in his actions. And when he fully decodes the thing, and seeing this person that he's cared for and known for such a long time in distress, and apparently someone that he hasn't seen in 20 years, he goes straight into action mode, which is what we know Picard to do. And he goes to his closest confidant, which is Laris. Unfortunately, she's gonna die, but I do like.
You might just actually will it into existence.
It will. Yeah. I will will it. I like that she trusts him enough that she's like, this is what you should do. Like, this is my advice. Do what you have to do. I'll meet you there because I know you're capable enough with your golem body to just go do your thing. But yeah, it's a nice little setup of showing the first 2 seasons, getting rid of a little bit of that, and then moving forward. I think that's what this scene really was.
Nice. Hawk.
Yeah. That was
Before you go, I'm letting you do it now because everybody's asking you to do it. Can you do Picard's authorization code better?
Picard 47 Alpha Tango.
Well done. Your thoughts?
I did love that they continued on with the relationship with Laris and that from last season. It fit into the plot for this one and that, because getting this message from Beverly on a 20-plus-year-old communicator and that he needed to read on it and that, and she gave him a great read from a spy and an intelligence officer's point of view for it. And she knows Picard and that, and he'd already stated previously in that, it's like, he was taking this trip and he was happy to do it and he was going to be there for her, physically and mentally in that. But at the same time, he still confessed to her that he needed a new mission, and one just really fell into his lap. So, kismet. Loved it.
MC.
I'm going to be the outlier in that I was not the biggest fan of this scene. Well, first of all, we had Picard acting like every dude in a new relationship, where it's just like, this relationship, I'm all in on this. Just forget everything else I've ever done before. And it's like, Picard, you are 95 years old. You cannot be such a dude about this.
He will always dude his way there, unfortunately.
And then we have like this conversation with Laris when after Bev's message, and some of the dialogue in this was really clunky exposition where Laris is like, oh yes, one of your old lovers, Yeah. That was a little bit weird to me, but probably the thing that actually really bothered me is that I think this is the only time we're going to see Laris this season.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I don't think she's going to die. I think that, and actually, and Orla Brady played this very well. She had this expression on her face when she says, it's like, I'm going to find there's this pub, I'm going to save you a seat. There's this look on her face where she knows that Picard is never coming there.
Yeah.
And it was a nice moment, but also it retroactively made me more angry at season 2 because they spent all of this time setting up this relationship only to end it in their first scene together.
I'm with you because I love Orla, and Laris is one of my favorite characters from Picard. I really actually, Eric, I swear to God, I'll kick you off the Zoom and transport you out in airlock. Oh wait, that's a great time for my new button.
You're going to tell me what the hell you two are really doing here, or I'm about to throw both of you out an airlock and never look back.
That's for you. I was saving that for a point I had, but it was good for you. Yeah, I love Laris, and I really hope that this is probably going to be a really unpopular opinion because I actually do ship Bev and Jean-Luc, but I also ship Laris and Jean-Luc. Either they do the polygamy thing, and it's a threesome, and that's fine.
It's 2 for 1.
Yeah, or you wind up with Laris, but like I want Laris back.
It still makes no sense that she didn't go along with him.
No, it doesn't. She should be on the mission.
She's a Tal-Shiar agent.
Yeah.
Come on.
She could. She.
Wait, there's spy stuff happening? I don't want to do that. That's cool.
So many things I want to say right now that I can't. Will Wheaton even had this issue. Like it's so, I'm going to segue real quick to screeners because everybody knows at this point that we've seen the first 6 episodes, me and Eric have at least. And like, if you go on the internet, it seems like half the world's seen the first 6 episodes. And this is actually the first time more than any season of Star Trek that I'm really disappointed that they didn't release the whole thing at once, because when you even see like the people that work for Paramount, like Will Wheaton and other content creators, like struggling because like, there's so much that I want to talk to you about now. Like they don't have this problem in other interviews, but like it's just such a different animal this season that when you see them struggling, it's that good. So just wanted to say that it is a bit of a struggle because there's a lot going on. But yeah, I hope we see more of Laris. Getting the message was cool though. I'm here for it. So we have a guest in the chat. Welcome, Matthew from Trek Untold. He joined us on our season 2 wrap up last night. Good to have you in the chat.
Hey.
Yep. Before we get to our next talking point, we're introducing a new segment in the show for the next 10 weeks, and that is trivia. Yes, trivia. Every week, we're going to be throwing in a trivia question relevant to this week's episode, and one lucky winner will be drawn each week and will receive one of these. Oh, what are these, you ask? Yes, they're beautiful. They're beautiful and shiny. One of you will win one of those each and every week for answering correctly. International fans, I'm sorry, you do have to pay shipping because we don't have that kind of latinum right now. Inflation is a bitch. Sorry. Yeah. So, where was I? Yes. You can DM us the answer on Discord. Any one of us. Okay. Email it to us. We have a brand new email address specifically for this, trivia@strangenewpod.com. You can email us now for that, or use the contact link on our website at strangenewpod.com. So with that said, MC, I'm going to hand this one to you. What is our first trivia question for Picard season 3?
What was Hellbird and what was its purpose?
Boom. There you go. So all those ways to get in touch with us, trivia@strangenewpod.com, DM us on Discord, or contact us using the link on strangenewpod.com. Moving on, Jean-Luc and Will, they meet up at Guinan's. Will's pissed off that no one's buying the fat ones, the big D models. I'm an Enterprise E guy myself, so I get it.
But the D.
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
No one wants the fat one.
No one wants the fat ones.
Fat shaming.
It is totally fat shaming.
No one wants the carpet. And the wood.
The wood paneling. Will finds a workaround, right, to the whole thing that we were talking about in the Stranger Loop, to like no Starfleet, which I'm still like, warning with Bev as he shares a drink with Jean-Luc. They leave 10 forward and all the fat ones behind. Sorry, Enterprise D. With that really shady dude giving them a back look is he even disgraces the D by throwing it into one of his drinks. I'm like, come on, man. You couldn't just like evil twirled it in your fingers.
Bugs.
Not but it's butt bugs.
You guys are gonna be really surprised when butt bugs show up,
right? So we get a beautiful space dock scene, a la like Scotty taking Kirk around in the motion
100%.
picture. So many space dock callbacks. Followed by Seven, or Commander Hansen, as she's being forced to be called, as we find out, which is some bullshit. Taking them out of space dock. What do we think about the new Titan and her departure, Eric?
I'm gonna go back to the bar sequence because
go back to the bar.
It's very cool, like little, that whole spy thing that we've gotten so accustomed to this year with a lot of amazing spy shows on TV.
Yes,
and what better place than 10 Forward? Although this would have been the perfect time to have Guinan show up.
Yeah, I don't even
like that's a wasted opportunity, which was unfortunate. Again, she should have been maybe on this adventure, trying to figure out things.
And that's somebody we didn't mention during the Strange New Link.
Another 100% someone he would have turned to. But seeing Riker and Picard work together again was it's a dream, man. Like everything we wanted from that 8th episode of season 1. Like it started here and it's gone forward through the whole episode, and their rapport is so good. Riker and Picard.
It felt not even like from when they were together in season 1. This felt like the movies and the rapport in the movies and the rapport in the later seasons of TNG.
100%. Like more than just first officer. They're like brothers now. And I like the sparkle in Riker's eyes when he's like, "Oh, I know something that you don't. Let me tell you. When you were sleeping as a Borg, we came up with something." And I love that it was something that we didn't really get to see in TNG, but it's something that we could totally expect them to do because they were that smart and that ingenious. That crew was like the top of the top, and I don't think we've really seen any other crew like that. There have been, but
Voyager. Voyager.
But they were placed together. They're a group of misfits that got put together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Fair. Yeah. Okay.
Then we get to see the motion picture amazingness of seeing the new Titan, and I could have. I wish that was longer, to be honest. I
know.
I would have been just watching that for 10 minutes straight, like the motion picture, to be honest.
You can play it on loop,
No, but I want more angles. From angles.
You can watch the
angles.
TikTok.
So many
You can watch the
angles.
TikTok that I'm posting tomorrow.
Not enough angles.
Over and over.
Not enough.
Eric
angles.
would keep circling.
Circle,
Just
go under.
Yeah,
Just keep.
Release the
over.
ship cut.
Yeah. Oh my god.
there probably is one.
The detail of the special effects this season is phenomenal. Like just like
Cinema quality.
Maybe even more. Like this is like Avatar, like real. The ship looked like it was actually made, which is hard. Like the fidelity of that is mind blowing. I can't. Like they put the budget in this season. Like they put the budget in. They're like, this is the last one. Dump truck money.
Scrooge McDuck.
There's something. I feel like they're echoing something with Riker and Picard going on the ship, be like doing their plan before they load on. I feel like that was from another movie. Where they're like, we're gonna do this inspection. Was there an inspection in a movie?
There was an inspection in
Was it 4?
No,
Star Trek 4?
No, it's 2. It's Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, okay.
You just get more. You get more of it in the director's cut,
Which worries me because that's at least 2 references to Khan this season in this first episode. So, and then later on when we meet people, yes, Commander Hansen. That's an interesting choice. Like she never really went with that, even when she was a Fenris Ranger. She always called herself Seven. So it was always it was already awkward, and she looks so like uncomfortable by saying that to Picard, someone who she trusted so much. And it's so weird that Riker has never met her. I find that very odd. But I guess Ray didn't meet Poe till the end of the second movie either. So, you know. But, other than that, did we talk? Oh no, the bridge and seeing Ensign LaForge.
You mean Crash LaForge?
Crash LaForge, and that whole they had the same feeling as Kirk meeting Sulu on was it Generations. It was so cute to see that mirrored there, and even the last episode of TNG when Riker or Picard couldn't remember Sydney's name. He couldn't remember her here, so you know.
Yeah,
nice
but I mean, Generations, it was like it's not the Enterprise without a Sulu at the con, and here it's like Crash LaForge,
and Geordi was the helmsman for like the first season of TNG too. Yep. So how amazing to have another LaForge out there.
It's almost like you could call it the next generation,
the next
generation.
Yeah. Other than that, seeing them go out into the space dock, I love it. I love whenever they do this in the movies or on TV, and the music swelling when they leave the space dock always it does. I'm a ship bro, I guess. I love it.
I was talking with Nami today about the music and the Titan specific leaving space dock, and this is an all cast, and she's like, oh my god, the music for the Titan and the show is so good.
It's like, so good.
It's so good, and that's coming from a composer. So
that sequence was amazing and perfect, and I love the look of the Titan A. I like the Neo class or whatever it was called.
Neo Constitution, or the Constitution 3, whatever you want to call it.
It's beautiful, and I love that it has this retro future look, which is technically future look. Anyway, I'm done. I could talk about the looks of the Titan forever. I love that ship. It looks pretty. I hope it doesn't blow up.
So I did love our first interaction with Riker in this. Just to go back to the bar scene for a bit, I don't know why Frakes had such anxiety about going back into the role in that, because he doesn't play it like the old series in that. He plays it as Will Riker, 20 plus years after the series in that, where it's like he's a guy who pretty much all those career goals in that he had for himself in Starfleet are met at this point, and I think he feels if he plays it a little lighter, I think it's because he's out from underneath the weight of all that anxiety towards that.
What's funny is that he's been a director for the last 20 years, so he knows how to command a crew of people. So basically it's just him being a director on a spaceship. Amazing.
But I love the light and breeziness of it. That said, and that I was a little sad when it's like, it's like Jean-Luc was apologizing for taking him away from Troy and his daughter and that, and he said actually they could probably use the time away from me. So I was like, well, what did you do?
Yeah.
Did you burn the pizza?
couldn't catch any more bunny corn.
Anyways, the whole thing with the Starbase and that, gorgeous. Loved it, seeing it. I love them working out. Jean-Luc, you gotta sell it. You gotta sell it, like the plan and that, which was basically like no plan. Go in under the pretense of doing like a surprise inspection of the Admiralty and that. Seeing the Titan, great. Seeing the bridge, seeing Seven in officer's uniform, commander's uniform, and that, I just wanted to point out Matt Harker mentioned it in the chat, and that the whole thing about it's like the captain insists that she be referred to herself as Annika Hansen, and that dead naming.
And it's very much dead naming, and I'm not gonna read it just for the sake of time, but I highly recommend that everyone go read Haven's post about this, because this definitely triggered him. And the one thing I'll say, for anybody that's worried about this, Jessie Gender, who we're actually going to have on the show in a couple of weeks, we've been talking to promote some stuff. She wrote a great bit about like how the show. This isn't a spoiler because it's already happened on this episode. The show is very aware of what it's doing with the dead naming, and it goes somewhere. So just be aware of that. They're not doing it to be assholes. It's part of the story. So,
Yeah.
but please go read Haven's post because I think it is very important. Sorry, Hawk. Go ahead.
No, it felt like it was like a purposely done, from
Yep.
from the writer's point of view, and that and it's like in a way it's like I'm kind of glad it's there, because it's just not that he should be doing that, but like the fact that kind of puts like Seven into perspective in that like she has not been Annika Hansen in that for a long time, and she probably never will be. She's Seven,
and
yeah,
that's
just go ahead.
It immediately creates a rift between the captain and his first officer, right? Like that's gonna always
that's
be
very
there.
much explored in the next scene.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
So there, like Julian said, it's done well. Like it will be. I can't wait till you guys see it. Like I can't wait. God, we'll talk after Julian.
Last thing I wanted to talk about was this scene with Sydney LaForge, and that
So cute.
I thought it was so brilliantly done because it's like you can imagine like her as kind of like going in as a LaForge, the famous LaForge from the Enterprise, and that so people her fellow crewmates might think there's a bit of nepotism going on or something, or those general shouts and that. And I love what Will did in that, where he just basically kind of
he's that uncle.
It's that uncle thing. It was mocking her, but at the same time, it was humanizing her for the rest of the crew. And that, she's a little LaForge and that, but guess what her nickname was at the Academy?
Crash LaForge.
Cutest freaking moment, and the smirk on Will's face. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Exactly.
Offsprings of the crew always get into crashes at the Academy.
Always.
Yeah.
Wesley.
Legacy.
First duty.
MC.
I mean, like on the Riker scene, first of all, like if maybe Laris had come with you, she would have told you that you don't have secret meetings in bars where people can overhear you.
But don't you do it so that people can't overhear you? There's a lot of noise in the area.
I mean, there was some dude in there who was like definitely listening to every single word.
I just feel like every spy show I watch, there's multiple meetings. Like this season of Jack Reacher, they were like it was like Russia, and everybody was meeting at fucking bars and restaurants.
He's a new Jack Reacher.
Yeah, no, I mean he's got a perfectly good chateau. Like
not Jack Reacher,
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
Yeah,
sorry.
And I mean the scene going up to the ship was very nice. I'm not a ship spotter. I've already said this before but I can appreciate the visuals is very nice. But I mean, like the scene that really stood out to me. I mean, Bev already made me gay, but come on, Evan in uniform. Come on.
Oh,
20 years too late.
I know, right? And just on like the whole Annika Hansen thing, one thing I think we haven't mentioned yet is that she did try to be Annika Hansen.
Yep.
She in prior to season 1 with what's her name?
Vajazel,
yeah.
Such a bad name.
And she got screwed so hard. Like her son died. So it's like, of course she doesn't want to like embrace that name, because the one time she did try, it was with somebody who just completely ruined her life. So she's not going to want to identify with that at all. So it was hard to hear that, to hear her continually being referred to. And, the captain insists, like, fuck you, captain. Like, come on. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, everybody always talks about how Jellicoe is the worst captain. No, I think we have a new number one for worst captain. Like, he was very good at being terrible. No, neither do I.
Well, and
a lot of people do.
I don't like what he does with with Seven, but I love Shaw so much for a variety of reasons.
I like him for being terrible. He was so good. I like him for being
terrible. Did you have anything else?
No, that was basically about it, because I think we're gonna get into talking about Shaw next anyway.
We are. I'm just gonna go off on this real quick. I caught some shit early on when the trailers first showed the Titan A, because I was very against this ship. I hated it. I thought it was fugly. I said a lot of mean things about it. I even made a TikTok about it. Holy shit. At one episode into the show, and then, the others later, it's not just because we're talking about it on the show and I'm trying to, do any ass kissing. This is genuinely like probably in like one of my top 5 favorite ships now. It is, I don't know what turned it around for me. I just think seeing it finished on the screen, doing its thing, it's so fucking beautiful.
It's also just the inside too, right?
It's just gorgeous. And all of the, I love the Titan A. And my wifey made me a Titan shirt.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
I love it, and it was so cool, the space dock scene. And the best part about it is that Seven keep speaking about Seven pulled a Kirk to leave space dock, but unlike Kirk, no one questioned her. No one was like, no impulse power in space dock. But she did. So yeah, 1/4 impulse, and of course Crash LaForge goes 1/4 impulse without question. It was so good. I loved the space dock scene. It did everything I wanted it to be. The whole dead naming thing is, I think, is going to be a very interesting arc for Seven as we see her continue to try to acclimate to being in Starfleet and rules and regulations. And as we know, she's already in deep shit. So let's talk about the piece of shit in the room. That is.
Give him
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't have enough. You don't have enough buttons.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Just shut up.
No.
No. So the ruse, right, that needs to get Shaw on board with their not plan is to go to. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought.
The Righton system.
It's to go to the Righton system and change course. In the ruse being that, well, you get to show off that this ship can go warp 9.9 and like push its boundaries.
Wrong captain.
Todd Stashwick as Captain Liam Shaw, man, eating his blue medium rare steak, not having it. What did we think about his attitude and the way he just denied Riker and Jean-Luc?
So I'm sort of biased because I loved him from 12 Monkeys already.
And I've been binging it.
Yeah, so you already you're in there too.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw him, I didn't know he was in this season. So when I saw him, I was like, "Holy shit, that's amazing!" And then he has such prejudice against these two already, and you can feel that he's like this legacy that these two people have. He doesn't care about it. He wants to have his crew run as tightly and cleanly as possible, and he doesn't care what these two think. This retired admiral and this former captain. This is my ship now. And I was like, I love him, but he's such a dick. And that's what I love about him. He's a dick, but I don't know. There's something about him that just makes me like drawn to him. But I know that he's also a bad person. But maybe he's not bad. Maybe there's more complex things below that. Like, again, like him making Seven use Annika. Like that's genuinely a terrible thing. And I don't think he means to do it on purpose, but it's just it's his way or the highway, it seems like, at this moment in time. It's like he knows how he wants to run these things. Like maybe he was brought up by Jellicoe and he's just like, everything has to run by the rules precisely. He seems like a rules person, which is not what we generally see.
And there's some people in the chat saying that it could also be a personal situation with Shaw, which who knows?
I'm also choosing my words wisely because I know what's happened since, right? So it's hard to be like, I wonder what happens. But I liked him when I first saw him, but I don't know. I don't know if that's because I'm biased against that actor. He also played Dracula on what's that show called? Carry On My Way, Supernatural.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is an actor, like a character actor that I've loved a long time, and he's playing such a no nonsense person on screen in front of these two legends. Like I can't imagine someone doing that. And I just love that happened.
Real quick, Hawk, before you go, just a couple of moments in the chat here. Admiral Funnest for just saying it was a bad plan.
It wasn't bad.
It was kind of a bad plan. It really was.
It was a
you could
really
be
bad
awesomer if you don't follow the rules.
Right. Oh yeah, just change course randomly right outside Federation space. Kevin Richardson says the problem is Shaw was rude, but was also right, which is
that's true.
Yeah, right. And Janice, I don't think. Where was Janice? Janice had there. I think Shaw had every right to tell Picard and Riker no. He knew that they were trying to play him, and he wasn't having.
I wonder, like, if this was Janeway and they didn't know each other, what would her reaction have been? I know she wouldn't have been rude, but I don't think she would have done it either.
I'm sorry, Janeway would have laid him out the second she heard Commander Hansen.
She would have pulled a phaser on him.
I meant if it was.
I know what you're saying though. If they went to him,
if they went to Janeway and they didn't know Janeway at that point,
instead of Shaw.
Yeah, instead of Shaw, like she would have been like, "No, I'm not doing that. I don't care if people think that's awesome."
I don't know if I agree with that.
You think she would have done it?
Just based off the 7 seasons of Voyager, I think that sometimes Janeway takes a risk. Yeah, I think she would have.
I think Janeway would have immediately been like, why? And as soon as she found out, it'd be like,
I think that's a great point, MC. I think that Janeway would have forced the truth out of them, and then Janeway would have done it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because basically 7 does that later.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
That's fair. Yeah.
And 7 learned from Janeway. Yep. Hawk, go ahead on Shaw.
Captain Shaw. I know. Like he, at first glance, he almost appears to be like the stereotypical, I won't say Badmiral. So is there a Badton? A Badton? A Badton? I don't know.
Badminton.
Get out of my head.
But this scene, as much as it infuriated people in that, it was still brilliantly performed in that. And that was Todd Stashwick in that. Like, this guy has spent a long time cultivating that kind of repertoire of these kinds of characters and that, like from like straight out villain to like, almost kind of douchey, just a douchebag, unlikable dude in that.
He's very Deacon from 12 Monkeys, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for that show. Still looking for it. I first remember him on this show from years ago called The Riches, and that with Eddie Izzard and Minnie Driver, and that it was about travelers and that. And he was kind of set up as like the villain in the show and that, and he was really, really good.
I think he plays this same character just in different like universes,
in different kind of guises and that.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the whole approach that he took with it and that, like he didn't stop eating or drinking in that throughout the entire thing and that. And he let everybody know exactly who he was in that scene. And
he didn't stand for them either. Like, right. Like
he didn't stand, didn't salute, didn't greet them in any sort of cordial manner and that, the
line that he says, your reputation preceded you so far out the room that I just started without you.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm going to let you know from second one that I am a dick and I do not like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that line.
From that line he told about, he said to Riker about purging all that bebop noise from the ship's library and that. And he's like, you're Lucy, and like just.
Yeah. I think they gave him like some of the best lines in this episode. Like, like everything he said was so cutting and like it was just like it was. I'm getting goosebumps. I love it.
I know it's so good. Like you hate him, but it was so well done. For like and that. Remember when Riker was saying about putting the coal on the engines and that, kind of really trying to sell the the whole plan to him, and he's like, and that fake laugh he did.
No.
No. Yeah.
Fucking great actor.
And and then he gets into it's like telling Seven and that we're not doing favors for friends of yours or ex-Borg.
Racist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. As Kevin puts it, racist as fuck, and element of hate in him, Colin says.
Yeah, there's this there's this awful company man kind of like quality to him, and that it's like he's not interested in developing any sort of like relationships with his crewmates or friendships or anything like that. It's like, you're there under my command, you're gonna do what I say. If you're not, there's the door. That's the kind of captain he is
for sure.
Yeah. I'm good.
MC.
Okay, first of all, as a steak eater, that blue steak was about the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. It was so.
It might be
blue,
good.
Blue is not supposed to be a color for food.
Yes,
How do you know it's Star Trek?
Fair enough.
That
could be
but
delicious.
understand. I'm just saying it did not appeal to me. Stashwick was so good at playing. Like, the only way I can put the way I feel about him is when everybody was going on about big dick energy, he's got the complete opposite. He has small dick energy. He is so overcompensating for absolutely everything. He's like, this is my ship. I don't care if you're an admiral. I don't care if you're the former captain. Mine. And to the point of ordering someone as to what their name can be, like, no, like, this is somebody who must control absolutely everything because they're just not as he is the big fish in the tiny pond, where it's like he's never going to be an admiral. He has somehow failed his way up to being a captain because he is not good in a leadership role.
Just to go off Janice's comment in the chat real quick, Hugh coining the name XB for former Borg or the artifact is not racist. Absolutely true. XB, the name itself is not racist, but Shaw's
the way he said
inflection was racist.
He was hateful towards Seven.
Yeah. Well, and Jean-Luc.
And Jean-Luc, but I mean, specifically thinking about the fact that Seven is his first officer. Like, how can you hate your XO like that much?
You've read Janeway's autobiography, right? Her I think the second captain that she had, the disdain that they had for each other when she was his first officer.
That is true.
No, I mean it exists. It happens.
Yeah, and we've seen so much hate against like XBs, like just from the first season, like. Like I wonder, like you said, he failed upwards, but I wonder if it's just because she's there and she's an ex-Borg and he's just like, I have a thing against Borg, any person. And this is why now I'm acting like a dick the whole time. Like I don't know, right?
It's possible, but just the impression that I got from the one scene is just he was so good at doing it, but God, did I hate him? But I know that's the point. So he did such a great job at it.
He did. Let's see. Moving on from Shaw. Listen, I know a few people are disappointed that we don't get returning characters in the season. We do get Rafi back in a big way. She gets a great arc here. She's deep undercover, investigating a possible terrorist threat. She's basically pretending. We actually don't know if she's pretending or not. We do see her drop the drugs, but we don't know if she's been using them or not.
She's had issues in the past, so it's fair.
She has. So we honestly don't know yet. But so she tries to kind of like pump this Orion for information, but all she gets is a name, and that name is the Red Lady. She talks to her handler, who tells her to dive deep and go after and find her, or find it, whatever the Red Lady is. And she does. It turns out that the Red Lady is in reference to. I love this moment because Dress on here tonight, but she texted me when she was watching her screen. She's like, "Oh my God, Rachel Garrett! I don't know anything about like ships and stuff, but I know that she was captain of the Enterprise C." Like she was like, so happy
the same text
that she got it
to Hawk when I saw.
It's so funny. So Rachel Garrett, her statue is being unveiled. If you don't know who that is from yesterday's Enterprise, she was captain of the USS Enterprise C. Rafi's too late though, and this is a scene that we see in both trailers. Starfleet's recruitment center on Madalis Prime. Terry, we love you, but come on, man.
I loved it.
Come on.
That's the artist's signature. Basically.
It's the artist's signature.
Yeah,
So
come
good.
on. If you were doing it, you would.
Oh my God, there'd be like a Julian 5, 6, 7, and 8. No. But I mean, it's like
the Jabrown system.
the Jabroni system. So the recruitment center on Madalis Prime is destroyed with what really looks like a portal gun from Portal.
They should have done blue and orange. They should have done blue and orange.
They should have done blue and orange. Thoughts on Rafi's arc and who we're her handler might be in this attack, Eric.
I'm not going to talk about the handler, but I loved it. I loved the straightforward attitude of the handler with her. No nonsense. Could you imagine if it was Eleanor? Because, what would be great for her to be, the spy-esque character, having Eleanor with her. Just Eleanor. I miss him. I miss the sexy Eleanor.
I know.
Hey, can I interrupt you real quick? I've gotten the feeling for some things I've seen in the chat that there might be some people in the chat who've seen the first 6 episodes. If you could refrain from saying some things, and that would be awesome because I've noticed it a couple of times. If you've seen the first 6 episodes, try and hold back because obviously people
no spoilers.
Haven't. Yes. Continue, Eric.
I love seeing Rafi. Because when you first see her, you're like, oh shit, she's down on her luck. Like that's the first thing we saw in the first season. She was an alcoholic and she was, spouting off like conspiracy theories. Having her be, I guess, Section 31 or just some sort of spy. I don't know if she's Section 31.
It's got to be Section 31.
I assume it's Section 31, right?
I assume it's Section 31 as well. Yeah.
I love that she has the La Serena again. Like, that ship should just keep...
That ship has been handed down twice now.
And it's not a subtle ship to be a spy ship. So I loved it. I like her energy in this season. Like there's this franticness that we saw in the first half of the first season, but also a ruthlessness that I think we saw in last season when she thought she lost Eleanor. And it's amazing. I can't wait to see more from her. Like it's just her desperately wanting to save people. Like she knows that something bad is happening, and that in her conversation with her ex-husband was heartbreaking because we saw that whole event when she went to talk to her son and was denied seeing her granddaughter. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. But she did it for the better, like the greater good. And that speaks so much to her character. Like she has to take the drugs or whatever to be this deep undercover. And you hear about these undercover cops that end up, going through all of this. Like I started watching The Wire because of Hawk, and there's so many things like you see little parallels like that in the real world. And I really liked her as a character. I didn't like her in the first season, I think, of Picard, and she's really grown on me, especially in this season. The portal gun attack was amazing, and it was exactly the thing I thought. Like it's a portal gun. It does the little spinny thing like the portal gun. It should have been blue and orange, and it's nothing that we've seen before, and it's amazing. Like I love it. I love that this is bringing stakes up into a higher like echelon that we've not really seen. And it's not a fucking sky beam. Thank God.
Yeah. No,
Thank God.
not a sky beam. Yep.
Yeah, I was a little worried when I saw that in the trailer. I was like, oh, they're not doing that again, are they? No.
Yeah. The Rachel Garrett deep cut was amazing. That statue looked terrible though, so I'm fine.
It did look really bad.
Why is it red?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hawk.
My turn. Rafi was so good in this. Like, because when I first watching the episode, I was like, oh God, no, they're not doing this to her again, sending her down that, Seven broke up with me, so I'm just going to turn to drugs and that, But there was, I don't know exactly that point in the conversation with the Orion, but it was like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, and it's like it's like Eric said, and that it's like going into that world, and that is very dangerous, and that it's like there's probably a point where she might have had to do drugs in front of other people, and that just to kind of sell the cover, and that it's like it's a really tough, like horrible job to have to do, in that
like, can you go up to a drug dealer and be like, I'm totally a junkie? And just be like totally straight. Like,
well, you mentioned
if you used to be a junkie, you probably could, but it's still not the same, right?
Yeah.
Especially this Orion said that she was his best customer. Like that's going to be hard to fake.
Yeah,
it is, right?
Yeah.
Eric mentioned The Wire, and that there was this beautiful scene in The Wire, like when Bubbles is kind of Bubbles, the drug addict, was like he's kind of evaluating the undercover guy that they had going in. He's like, and he's just tearing it down. And he's like, what's that on your hand? And that, and he's like, it's my wedding ring. And he's like, you pawned that off years ago, and that you married to the needle now.
Exactly, right?
That's a level of commitment a person has to do to go do these assignments and that.
And to go off that, Hawk, Haven asks, would you agree that Rafi pulled a Jack Bauer when he did his drugs in season 4 of 24? To which I say I would say it's pretty similar. I don't know how familiar you guys are with 24, but I am. And yes, Haven.
Yeah,
yes.
I agree.
Hawk, sorry.
Yeah. Another thing, it reminded me, I don't know if anybody watched first season of True Detective, it reminded me of the character of Russ Cole, and that they look, but like an organization like, Section 31 would look for somebody with, Rafi's kind of pedigree, to send into these dark corners of the universe where they themselves cannot go, and that, but they need that information because that information was there, and she rooted through and she managed to find it, and that, which was amazing. I love that little turnabout, when she walks into the alley and that, and she gets on the communicator and that.
And the flip one too, the old school one. Cool.
Section 31 lost their budget.
No,
the old ones are harder to track.
No, they are. No, 100%
exactly.
MC. 100%.
Yeah.
Remember beepers, not phones, Eric.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like the reason I say Section 31, there was something about the way they were communicating with her, and that just through simple text messages, and that I swear that I've seen that somewhere before in Star Trek and in association with Section 31.
I mean, it makes sense.
Philippa, was it? Maybe not.
Maybe not. I'm not sure. It's something about it reminded me of like the way Julian was contacted.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh no, he had what's his name was always really unique with how he got in contact with Julian. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Real quick before MC goes, Daniel Johnson goes, "I'm cool with Rafi as long as she doesn't say JL." To which I say, more JL.
More JL.
Could you imagine being like, Rafi was a conspiracy theorist, right? Like a conspiracy nut.
Yeah.
And then getting signed into like Section 31 where the conspiracies happen. That must have been like
yeah, exactly.
But the thing is that when Rafi gets into that zone,
everything
even though she goes a little crazy, she's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MC, Rafi.
So I will give them all of my money if her handler is Bashir. All of my money.
Oh my God.
Just based on that pitch for
season 8 of DS9.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, now I want to see Bashir.
I know, right? So I liked Rafi in this. This is definitely an interesting way of handling Rafi, especially because I didn't really care for what they did for Rafi in season 2. But I mean, I know it's probably just part of the cover, but I didn't like the "my girlfriend has left me" thing, because it's like we spent so much of season 2 like
all 10 episodes.
Yeah. And so it not until the last episode do they get back together, and here we are, episode 1, and she's off on her own thing, pretending that she and Seven are broken up. And who knows, maybe she's not pretending. We don't know, because it's always, easier to, lie with the truth. I mean, I'm hoping that it's a lie. I just really want women to be able to love women freely in Star Trek. That has not happened yet. And I think that Rafi is going to be on this for most of the season. So I don't know if that's going to happen. So Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, hell, even Prodigy, just all of you, give me a queer lady couple that actually gets to be happy. But I've never even played Portal, and still when I saw it, I was just like, "Oh shit, it's Portal! This is awesome!" It was so different.
Yes,
for an attack, because you see these lasers like attack and things blow up, but then the wreckage destroys something else. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Like when we saw it in the trailer, I assumed it was just collapsing in, but the fact that whoever did it dumped it on another section of the city, man, that's brutal. Like,
And the sound design in it, you could hear the people screaming. Oh,
yes.
God.
Oh my God. Sound design.
I mean, this is going to sound dark. It reminded me of the 9/11 footage. When you heard people jumping.
I have a special guest in the room real quick, and she loved the premiere as well. So I just wanted her to give her quick favorite moment from the season premiere of Picard. Come here. What was your favorite moment from the season premiere?
Hello,
Darren.
Honestly, like just the Riker and Picard, like almost like buddy cop, just them being big dorks together and being like, we got a plan and we're gonna do this shit. And then Shaw was like, no. Like, it was just so beautiful and ridiculous and hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm not going to say anything more about Rafi because you guys covered it so well, and I kind of interjected and said my piece. She was brilliant. Yeah. Chris says, "Hey, Admiral Karen, she's my admiral." That's right. Let's get on to the final part of this episode, and that is Seven disobeying Captain Cranky Pants orders and go to the writing system. Seven is struggling in Starfleet, and I'm going to play this clip again, even though I played it for Eric again, because this is one of my favorite moments from the episode.
You're gonna tell me what the hell you two are really doing here, or I'm about to throw both of you out an airlock and never look back.
So awesome.
I love that because obviously 7 of 9 went to the Laura Roslin School of Dealing with People, and I appreciate that. But getting back to it, she takes Will and Jean-Luc to the writing system, very much to the air of Shaw. Once aboard Beverly's ship, they find the aftermath, right, of like Bev going full John McClane. The battle then finds her stasis pod and her son. Her son. The bombshell. That is a bombshell, if there's been one, is interrupted by the arrival of what we do know already as Vadic's ship, the Shrike. How do you guys feel? Final act of this premiere and what it sets up for the next episode and this season. Eric.
I loved Seven in that sequence. The fact that she took no nonsense from them and was just like, I know what you're doing. Tell me what's happening. And they're just like, oh, you know, we want to protect you. And she's like, don't give me that shit. Just tell me what's happening. Right. Yep. I love her so much. And I love that we got to see, like, having her back for these 3 seasons is just a joy. And every time she's on screen, she steals it. Like, Jerry Ryan's amazing. And Seven is amazing. And I love that she knew she was doing something against her captain's orders, but she knew what was right. And her moral compass has always been like spot on, and I love that about her. The when she says to Shaw, I'm pretty sure they know how to get to a shuttle pod.
Yeah, right.
It's just like, that's amazing. The little
because
the
it's
little
true.
Back. Yeah,
but it's true too. It's like, honestly, yeah, I did help them, but would I really need to help them?
Yeah, they know what to do. Yeah. They've done. They know what they're doing. They've done this so many times before. Obviously, their reputation precedes them. If you know, he said that himself. I wish she clapped that back too. Going to that to Beverly's ship was cool. Like, I love that when they were examining the battle scene, they're like, this isn't the Beverly that we know. Like, she's gone somewhere dark, or at least she's been through shit. And you know, if she wakes up or when she wakes up, she might not even be the same person they remember. I love that. I want to know what's happening in the chat.
There's such a great comment in the chat right now. Kevin Richardson goes, talking about the son bombshell. He inherited his father's British French accent through genetics.
I'm so glad I was the one who thought that.
I was trying so hard not to laugh out loud. I don't know. We'll find out more about Jack. That person later on. Yeah. Yeah. I said the name, but it's on Memory Alpha, so it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
But,
so meeting that person that will remain unnamed for 1 week. You know, it was cool finally seeing the person who was hidden away, and you know why she decided to lock him in that one room is because she's her son. Like, it makes sense.
I almost went somewhere dark.
The Vadic ship, reveal is such a mean way to end the first episode.
It really is.
It's
Yeah, it
so
really
mean
is.
because you're just like, oh, here it comes. Nope. I guess we're not seeing that now. And it has such a growly sound when it came in. I love the sound design for that ship. It sounds like that ship from 2009 a bit.
Oh yeah.
And it sort of sounds like
very much
Narada.
got Narada vibes.
Yeah.
and even the music has Narada vibes, but like the engine sounds like Sebulba's pod racer too. So it has that vroom, 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 and like fuck yeah, there's something like sinister about it just from the sound design, and it already has like a crab look to it. And I'm doing all of these things. Again, that's mean. I love this first episode. I thought it was really good. I love how it ended. The cliffhanger was just enough to be like, oh fuck, no, god damn. I wish the next episode was that. I wish they put 2 episodes out. To be honest, the first one.
Just real quick before you go, Hawk, I do this to you every time because there's always a comment right before I want you to go. Has no one commented from Michael Kwan on the fact that Beverly executed the down-tweeted border? No, we talked about it at the top of the show
and I just
how
mentioned
badass that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, it's not something a doctor would do, but it's still badass.
The
go
doctor
ahead,
of
Hawk.
badassery.
Yeah.
No, it's not something a doctor would do. A person who's being hunted, yeah, that's something definitely the person being hunted would do. 7 struggling in Starfleet, and that we've talked a lot, like in the past, and that about like how she was denied like opportunities in Starfleet and that because of her XB status and that and it's like now here she is actually in Starfleet and that, and apparently at the urging of Janeway and that because Janeway always believed it would be like befitting of her talents and her skills and that.
And Janeway's also doing it on Prodigy too, right? Because of the augments. Like she understands people. I love that.
Yeah, but it's not working for her in that. It's like as she said, I'm eating shit from people like Shaw. It's like we know she's so much better than this, and that's like I think this would be the final. This could be the final nail in the coffin for her Starfleet career, and I don't think she gives one shit way about it. And that she wants out, and that she needs that independence, and that to find her own path. And that
She would have been perfect under Riker, like
yeah.
It's
I guess it's
or Jean-Luc,
or Jean-Luc,
or if a special envoy for Janeway, and that it's like I don't know, but like unfortunately, it's like they don't get to pick their assignments, and that yeah, it's like we get spoiled a lot by these shows and that because it's like TNG, Voyager, TOS, and that it's like all of them were family in those episodes. But which isn't the reality of like military service and that they're not family in that they're given a ship assignment and they they either get a good command or they get sent to a bad command. So and she's realizing that this is not she is a square peg trying to fit in a round hole and it's not working. So I'm glad I'm glad they kind of brought that to our attention. The one that, when they took the shuttle down to Bev's ship and that I couldn't get over how tiny that ship actually was. The shuttlecraft kind of landing on a little docking just on the thing.
Yeah.
What class is that ship? Do you know, Julian?
I feel like it's been talked about, but I don't think I remember the class of it. I like it too. It's a really neat design. It's almost like a modified Akira class.
Yeah, I was thinking
right?
that too.
Yeah.
It's Starfleet design, but it's very much a small ship in that. It's like it would maybe a complement of like 10 at the most.
Small.
Yeah.
Small.
Yeah. Anyways, cool.
Yeah.
Bev's son, Jean-Luc put it together almost instantly in that. It's like she would never have reached out if it was just for her, and that she reached out because there was somebody she was trying to protect.
Yep. And as Will Wheaton put it in the Ready Room, his little brother, right? Like, yep. Man, so much to go. Yeah. Kevin Richardson, you're absolutely right. From First Contact, it looks like a mini steam runner class.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
100%. Yep. Oh, sorry.
Based on the Elk, Haven writes, based off the Elcars, this is a 20-year-old design. Yeah, it fits because it looks so run down. Remember, it took her like 2 minutes and that for the engines to warm up.
Yep. Old ship.
Yeah, exactly. If I know people aren't fond of cliffhangers and that, but this was a great cliffhanger.
Sure was.
Well, yeah. Well, the fight also mirrored the Wrath of Khan fight, right? With Kirk and his son. Like, I love, there's so many Wrath of Khan parallels to
that's
show.
MC's ready
Bring
to
it
go.
home, MC.
Yeah. Well, just so bringing up Janeway, the second Janeway's name was mentioned by Seven. I was just like, oh my God, mention of Janeway. And it became so clear why Seven would put up with all of this stuff. It's like she doesn't want to let down Picard and Janeway. Yeah. And it just broke my heart because if either of them knew the kind of shit that Seven was going through, like there would just be no stopping them. Yeah, it was just, well, maybe Picard would, we obviously saw how Picard treated him, but Janeway certainly would not put up with the way Shaw was treating Seven. And so, yeah, I think that her Starfleet career is over and she's completely good with it. I think that it's fine because, you know, like you can try things and to have it not work out.
Yeah.
It was really great seeing her in the uniform, though. For many reasons. I'm sorry, I'm apparently really gay this episode, guys.
I just threw so much at you and that you're just overwhelmed by it.
I there's no need for apologies there. No.
And when we finally getting to Bev, like this is one of the reasons why I had such a problem with the clunky Laris exposition in the first scene, because as soon as Picard mentioned he made a mixtape for Bev, I was like, oh, that's his son.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So yeah, and I'd obviously like that
God.
accent is genetic, though I actually did just kind of come up with an idea, like if this ship is 20 years old, maybe this kid's been raised on the ship and like been raised off of the logs of Picard.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just my idea, and I will find out if the episodes tell me any different, and if not, then I'll have a headcanon minute for TikTok.
MC Kevin had the Seven in uniform had the opposite effect on him. It made me straight. My mom will be happy. I love it.
I mean,
Seven defies all sexuality.
I mean, so the son has the Picard accent, but so did Shinzon, and Shinzon was on a whole different planet.
True.
Maybe it's just maybe
true.
it is just genetic.
Born on I got nothing else to say. You guys took it home. I love this episode. The one thing I will say and disagree on, I don't think that Seven's Starfleet career is over. I really don't. I'm really hoping with all the talk that Terry's put out there about another series, is that is the Seven series, and we do get to follow her maybe on board this ship, maybe on board another ship, maybe on board the Enterprise G if the Enterprise F is getting retired, like the log says on the internet. I don't think it's done. It's looking done, and I don't know. I don't know. I legitimately don't know. But
I want Crash, LaForge, and Seven on a TV show. I
want that whole bridge crew.
Yeah, that whole bridge crew.
Yeah.
Like we haven't met many of them, but I love them all. Their designs, all their facial expressions, just from hearing the Crash story was just made perfect. Like,
yep, agreed. I'm not going to go into final thoughts because I think we've put literally all of our thoughts into this episode, so I think we know where we stand. I'm also going to make an announcement right now. I'm speaking for everybody, and they could say no afterwards, but in the interest of time and editing, I'm going to also say no Easter egg hunt, but stay online after the show. We're going to do a post-show Easter egg hunt, and we could talk about it in the chat, and we could talk about it here.
We can go live again afterwards.
Yeah, we'll go live again right after the show is over to do an Easter egg hunt, because there's a lot to talk about there, and I'm fine doing that. So let's just go right into our rating of the season premiere. I always like to go in the reverse order for the rating. So MC, your rating for this?
I'm going to give it 9.8. Like, I think there was just a couple of things that could have tweaked, but this was so good. This was everything I wanted with Picard when I first started watching it and didn't get. As I said to Julian after I watched this episode, it made me cry because this was an episode of Star Trek I really wish that I was able to watch with my mom, because she loved TNG so much that this would have been the Star Trek that she wanted to see, that wouldn't have happened with 1 and 2. So
Hawk.
And I don't care. I'm just throwing it out there. This was a 10 as far as the first episode and that into the season and that. The rest of the season sucks. I don't care. This was a great episode.
I love that.
It brought it reintroduced us to everybody in that. It got straight to the point, but was very mysterious in that. And what it chose to show us, and I loved it. It was just so good. Eric.
Julian, I'm having a hard time here, man.
I know, because you already told me what yours were going to be like a week ago.
Yeah, because they're all 10s. They will always be 10.
But there's some that are more 10s than others.
I know, that's my issue here. Like,
if everything's a 10, nothing's a 10.
Exactly.
But I'll give it 9.99, like the warp.
Like Titan's warp. I like it.
I think the only issue I really had was the Laris thing. And that's it. This is like when I watched TNG with my dad, like we saw the commercials before it came out. I remember the day exactly because I was on my swing set in my backyard, and my dad called me and he's like, "It's starting." I was like, "Oh shit, yeah!" And this was when I lived in Niagara Falls still, and we had this weird house that had like 3 random ass sets of stairs, so we had to go down in the basement. We watched it together, and we would watch TNG every Sunday together. And this is a show that, like, when I saw the screeners, I was like, I have to watch this show with my dad. So when I get to go see him on the weekend, I'm gonna watch it with him. And like that's amazing. He wears the Geordie LaForge uniform for Halloween every year, like since we were little, like since I was little, and I love it. It's so funny. So this is the show that, like, he's gonna love it, and I know he's gonna love it, and I love that, and I wish I could see his reaction like tonight when he watches it. Like that's what I wish. Like that's how much this first episode is like.
Yeah, agreed. Over on the chat, Matt Harker gives it an 11 out of 10. Haven is with Eric with a 9.99. The Titan warp drive. Maggie Light gives it a 10. Tara gives it a 9.5 out of 10. Where else? Wayner gives it a 10. Michael Kwan gives 9 phaser shotgun blasts out of 10 in that parasol. Hell yeah. Because of what I just said, there are some like bangers coming up. I'm gonna give this a 9.5. That 5 is because I think Lara should be on the ship with them. That being said, I'm taking half a point off, but this is a perfect premiere.
Yep.
It's a perfect premiere.
Yeah.
This does what I wanted the sequel trilogy of Star Wars to do. It honored what came before, and it moved the story forward in a meaningful way. And that is so hard to do. And it just, like, hats off to everyone involved. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, and I'm going to read Matt's comment here because this is great too. The end credits make it an 11 with a strong Marvel finish. Those end credits are fucking beautiful.
Oh my god!
When Giraffe gets emotional about end credits, you know that they're good. Yeah. So, yeah. It is time for the subspace to poll and mailbag.
Comms, get me the dock master.
Control tower reading, Commander.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that would make you happy. Who wants to take the to poll this week?
I'll do it.
I can do that.
Oh no!
I heard MC first.
Yeah, MC. Yeah.
We asked Twitter what they thought of the season premiere. This is what they had to say. 67% said Titanic achievement.
God damn
it. 26 said nice recovery, Admiral. 5% said captain with no chair. And 2% said close the space doors. Who hurt you guys?
Yeah, seriously.
Go touch some grass.
All right. Are we starting at
All
the top?
right. Yeah, we're going to start at the top with Mailbag. Go ahead, hit it, Eric.
All right. SMK wrote, so far, so good. I'm cautiously optimistic about this season. I enjoyed the audio, oral, and music homages. We didn't even talk about the music that much. Oh my God. That were intertwined in this episode. Hopefully, the third time's a charm for Picard.
Eric, we didn't talk about the music because we're going to spend the next hour in the post late night show talking about the music. Hawks with Havens, please.
Haven wrote, I said in the chat last night during the season 2 review that the Picard season 2 opener was the best opener I have yet to see. When the credits came up on S3's intro, I literally thought, there is no way there are credits already. It just started. I am truly speechless. We have seen Badmiral since the Next Generation, so is it fitting we possibly have the next generation of Badmiral in Captain Shaw? Keep it up, Terry.
And to add on Havens, because they knew before anybody else did, because they don't miss a thing, that MC had joined the Strange New Crew. They wanted to say, I want to congratulate MC on joining the Strange New Crew. So
Thank you, Haven.
MC with NYRLites, please.
Raleigh wrote, I still like the season 2 opener more. Oh, it's a controversial but brave opinion.
It is.
But I'm definitely pumped to see what's next. Good story and the requisite chip porn of the Titan leaving a space dock. Vadit's Romulan hairstyle and attacking during the dedication of Rachel Garrett's statue makes me think this season is connected to the events of yesterday's Enterprise.
I would love that.
Ooh, that would be good. Is Vatic the daughter of Tasha or another captured Enterprise sea crew member?
That would be so cool.
For the top of NYRLites Mailbag, like in the season 2 opener, wrong. There's one thing that Star Trek Picard has not done wrong, and that is a season opener.
Yeah, that is fair.
Every season premiere has been a banger.
Yeah.
Yep. Me with Chris's. Oh, I get to read Chris's. My mind was blown. By the way, Chris made me stay up because it was just me and him, and Haven's power went off. So it was 3:15. I was like, if it's just you and me, man, I'm going to go to bed. And he's like, no, you're staying up with me. I've been waiting to do this. So I stayed up and watched the premiere with him. My mind was blown. The cinematography was so gorgeous. Yep. The acting was bright and vibrant. And watching Frakes alongside Sir Pat Stew was like seeing two old friends out to cause some trouble. I cannot wait to watch this multiple more times. I was so excited for season 1, and I'm more excited for the rest of this. If I could pay to see it all right now, I'd fork over $200. Yes. Back to you, Eric, with Wainers.
Wainer wrote, the first few seconds, an eternity for an android, reminded me of the season 1 open, but my concerns were quickly allayed. Everything about this episode was so good. I can't even pick out a favorite moment, although 7 committing mutiny was at the top. Fair. I wonder what'll happen to her now. That captain is a jerk, and he's the one that should be tossed out the airlock. More Picard, now!
And I'm on Skona Bark. Yeah, Skona closing it out. Skona, is this the last one?
No, it's not. No, we got a lot.
Okay, cool. Skona Vark wrote, I was cautious, but I love this episode from beginning to end. The cinematography, sound, and overall aesthetic were collectively another character in a narrative already ripe with drama. I love the mystery surrounding what Bev is up to, and I was so stoked to see Ensign LaForge. The show promises to be rich with gifts to those of us who love TNG, and also a refreshing new start for another modern Trek season. 9 out of 10 shots of Romulan ale at the bar with Captain William T. Riker.
Hell yeah. Yeah. MCs with Michael Grams, please.
Michael Graham wrote, wow, I'm so excited for the rest of this season. I'm not trying to be overly critical. I'm just going to enjoy every minute of this show. Excited to hear how the rest of the collective feels and getting to hear the recaps each week from all of you. Hashtag engage.
Yeah, I love that. I will take it home with Fernanda's. I am cautiously optimistic. The first half of the episode, I'm going to try that again. The first half of the episode was very reminiscent of the TOS movies, which I found pleasant. Later half things more modern. So to say, I am curious to what is next. And to find out, you'll have to tune in next week. Not even a shill, but just get Paramount Plus because you need to watch the rest of this season.
Yes.
Please.
I think you get a 30-day trial. So this is a good
there
time.
is a 30-day trial. This is a good time to do it. Go get that and watch this season. We will be back next week with our review of episode 2 of episode 302 of Star Trek Picard. Join us directly after this one. We're going to go right back live and do a post-show, late show Easter egg hunt where Eric and I will just talk about the music the whole time.
It's true.
It's true. So I will say for MC, for Hawk, for Eric, I am Julian. Live long and prosper. Majram. Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.
We're back.
Welcome back to our first post show. Hey.
It's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
A long road, one might say.
Getting from
there to here.
Mm-hmm.
But our time is finally
here. It's finally here.
It's
Finally here.
Is it near or here?
Near.
Is it near?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's near, right?
Yeah.
Right? I didn't ask any of your permission if you wanted to stay, but you're still here. So that's a good sign. No one's telling me, fuck you, Julian, I want to go to bed. Hawk, you are more than welcome.
No, stay.
There's one thing I did want to. There's only really one thing I wanted to point out in the outros and that there was that line about do not seek blame, do not seek anger. I started to get all Rafi on this and just obsessed about this line. I was looking on the internet. There's only two things I could find that might be in reference to it, and that there was a Bible verse, Corinthians 13:5, and a quote from JFK that
I don't think it's JFK.
You don't think? Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future.
Okay.
That's good. I like that
Good
quote.
It's good.
Why did JFK say that? What was that about?
I'm not sure. I don't know the context of it in that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I will say that we will see that quote maybe soon.
Oh.
Easter eggs. Who's got them?
Are we starting at the top? Because then, let's see.
Please let's not do turns because I already said before we started the show. It's like I have no Easter eggs. I just saw the episode.
No, just shout them out. Just shout out Easter eggs.
The closing credits, all of it was a
giant Easter egg.
Giant Easter egg. Even there's so many 12 Monkeys Easter eggs in this first episode. It's crazy. It's like Terry was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that old show I did a long time ago? I'm gonna bring Todd on. I'm gonna just name things after the 12 Monkeys characters as well."
I'm at the end of season 3. What Easter eggs from 12 Monkeys are there that I'm missing?
So at the end there is a what was it? What was it? Let me find it. I have it written down somewhere. Okay, so end credits. There's the Fleet Museum on 8th and Prime. Ethan.
James Callis.
Yep. So, and who was also in Picard. So, it's
all connected.
Oh, damn. Okay.
There's another one earlier in the first thing. I did not organize this well because I was just too excited when I saw this. Music.
I'll go.
Yeah, go for it.
The Titan is a 12 Monkeys reference. I now know because of watching 12 Monkeys that the only reason that this ship is not the Enterprise G or 1,000 other famous starship names is because of the giant mega city in 12 Monkeys called Titan. It has to be. That is the only reason that Terry didn't make this the Enterprise. because it's a freaking Constitution class.
Yeah.
But it's also I feel like this is a good way for Riker to be like, you know what, I was part of the ship. Maybe we can finagle it that way too.
It just always seemed like a weird choice to make the Titan look like the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I have a 12 Monkeys conspiracy theory, and it works. So
we saw the Reskin flute again.
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 The music, okay.
Oh no, I meant like the actual flute was there.
No, I know. The music in that moment where he's like,
yeah.
not to sound dirty, but when he's stroking it and being like,
who doesn't
their memories. And it was such a powerful moment, and the music was so well done.
And it was looking at the painting of the
scene.
Enterprise D at the same time too, so it's just like,
yeah.
Let's see what else.
Should I go?
Yeah, go, man.
Yeah, just call him out if you got him.
Okay, there was a scene where you see technical specs that are being translated into common or English as we know it, and that they are. It looks like they're being translated from Klingon.
Oh,
Beverly?
Not sure. Like I just noticed it today, and that was my a second.
But wait,
time
in which
it.
scene?
It's the outro. It's the outro.
Oh.
There's technical specs that are being translated into, like I said, into English and that, but it looks like they're being translated from Klingon.
I will say the outro is like so spread out that even some of the stuff we see in it is stuff we haven't even experienced.
Correct.
Me and Julian.
Yep. But the outro stuff does go all the way to episode 6.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We see.
you should try and
beyond.
solve it. You should try and solve it before you see them, because it's really fun to go through them and do it.
We obviously see the Moriarty program coming back online. We see a DNA strand. Somebody's mind is definitely being scanned.
I wonder if Picard's son is a clone.
This is what I'm
I wonder if it's another clone.
Yeah. Let's see. There's an indicator that there might be an attack on a starbase. You see like those two, like you see like on
the one that
L-card.
Titan left, yeah.
Yeah, and they see like two objects coming in right from the bottom and that. Let's see. I did the thing about do not seek blame. Let's see. Biomed display, possible gene resequencing going on there.
The Voyager was in the credits as well.
Oh, the Pathfinder class Voyager B is listed. I think there's a picture of it.
There's a number of ships that are
ships. Yep.
No, I meant in the end credits as well.
Oh, in the end credits. Yeah, that too. Yep.
I wrote down this. I did this a couple weeks ago when I first watched it. A strange readout of a predicted function could be the quantum tunneling device and that we're talking about.
Well, the quantum tunneling also makes me immediately think of the fact that at the end of season 2, that thing that the Borg are guarding is a transwarp conduit,
Right.
or a transwarp tunnel, or they're going batshit crazy. And it's a reference to disco and the fact that in that century, there are transwarp tunnels and they're all broken down because they were being overused.
All right. Then
They're trying to set up a mega highway.
Yes.
Last thing I wrote was the micro neurogenic graphics, the scan, and I was just wondering whose brain. So,
I would be remiss not to say this one because Jesco figured out it on Discord. We covered this in the Ferengi episodes. The Titan has metaphasic shields, which are the Ferengi scientists' creation.
Yep.
That is a TNG Easter egg. So cool.
Dr.
Seven mentioned
Rika,
yeah, she commands metaphysic shields up. Yeah. Okay, that's all I got. So
the whole space dock moment had about 1,000 musical cues from 1,000 different Star Trek movies.
So much
it was
James Horner.
Beautiful. So much James Horner. So much Jerry Goldsmith. Holy crap, the music's beautiful.
Like you could clip just all the little bits of music that were referenced in this, and you can make a CD out of it. Like that's how much they referenced in this one episode. It was incredible, and it was done so tastefully that it didn't sound like they were just outright stealing.
Yeah.
Who's the composer again? I follow him on Twitter, but I can't remember his name.
Stephen Barton.
He's so good. Like he did a phenomenal job. What else was there?
He did 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. I want to know what your other 12 Monkeys references are.
I don't know. I can't find my notes on this, which sucks. they're
Oh my God! Wait, the whole burn in the coal is him saying coal from.
I don't think
Fuck
that. I don't think that's a.
Damn it!
reference
I know.
to-
I was stretching.
I'm sure there will be more. Like just with Todd Stashwick there, he's got to drop something, right?
It sure does.
Why not? Drop that ass. What else is there? Frontierland seems like the lower decks, like when they go to that Frontier adventure park.
Frontier Day.
Yeah. It feels
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just a thing. Oh my God, they love their celebrations, and Picard just seems to hate them, and I love that.
Any other Easter eggs?
That's all I could find in that. But
There's a bunch of Bajoran stuff in
Jean-Luc's office.
Jean-Luc's office.
I want to translate the Bajoran on that light up ding dong that he has.
Was the tablet there again? No. Okay. So they just showed it in season 2 trailer. Nothing.
And now it's gone again.
Yeah.
Did Picard just steal all of Cisco's stuff?
Could you imagine?
Cisco goes to the Prophets and Jean-Luc shows up at the Enterprise and starts like an auction. It's like, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Jean-Luc coming out of Cisco's office with a cardboard box.
Here's like, excuse me, sir, can I help you?
Don't worry, I left all of the baseball shit.
Sir.
Be nice to my ready room, please.
Is there anything else in it? Like I can't even think of any more.
Metalis Prime, which we mentioned on the show. Oh God, that was good.
Like even like when I saw the first episode, I was so intrigued by the end credits. Like I was pausing and rewinding.
Karen downloaded a piano app to put the music in. The musical notes.
Nice. Yeah, I played it too.
Yep.
It upsets me that it doesn't sync up with the music in the credits.
Oh really?
Yeah. Because when I saw it the first time, I was like, "That's not right."
Wait, did you figure out what it was?
Yeah, I can hum it.
Oh, okay. Well, don't.
No, I'm not going to. But when it was happening, I was like, the timing that they're playing in the music and what they're showing as they're highlighting it, the fact that they were highlighting it, I was like, this is not right. It's like when I saw that menu that had the Simpsons music at a Mozart. Have you seen that?
Oh, right.
It bothers me. That's right. When things don't line up like that.
The last thing was there was a taken apart old Star Trek TOS movie style phaser on Bev's
Yes.
collection of goodies.
I didn't see that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so much
little...
all the detritus that was on her desk. I was, like you see a hypo spray and then you see like something else, and somebody's obviously was working on something.
Yep. That's all I got.
Let me see.
That's it.
Anything else? Beverly's Pearls.
Oh, Beverly. The chimes and the bunk beds are a Star Trek 6 reference to the bunk bed scene in Star Trek 6, and the chimes, General Chang, do we not hear the chimes? Tone at midnight.
So
you don't like me.
Oh, Haven has a bunch of things in here. Hold on. I can't see it. I'm so
all the ships.
Yeah. USS Constance, and then a bunch of unknown.
Oh, hey, it's in the chat, but we're not going to read those. We're not going to read them on the show.
Okay.
We're not going to read them on the show. They're in the credits, so they're there. I mean, it's fair game, so I guess we can. But
it's too long. It's too small. I'm too old.
Yep. Yeah. I think it's it.
I don't think.
I think I'm done.
Yep, I'm done too.
We all done.
I gotta get up early. MC, such a great first episode.
MC's
Thank
first.
you.
Well,
That Julep Bashir, the theory fucking blew me
made
away.
all of us lose our collective shit. That was awesome.
Oh my God, what's he doing right now?
Because he always fancied himself like possibly, living the life of a spy.
Yep.
And the fact that they pitched it for that in that documentary, that he would be the one running it, I would be 100% down. Oh my God.
Yeah. I really want it so bad.
I would be down for a Section 31 show with him.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That does it for our first ever post show. Maybe we'll do it again. It was fun. Yeah.
Oh, also, when I can't remember the captain's name now.
Shaw, Liam.
When he's like, crashing ships, and he was saying that at Riker, I was like, oh, that is a nice cut. That was a good. Ow.
He knows what they've done.
Yep. God, I love him so much. I love him so much.
Stuff up.
Yep.
I'm not gonna find that here.
Yep. All right, folks. Nighty night. Live
Goodbye.
long and prosper. See you later. MC, have so much fun.
Yeah,
Thank
enjoy
you.
the con.
Yep.
I'm not gonna hit the end screen. I'm just gonna
and I'll enjoy
stop.
seeing Giraffe when I see her.
Yes.
Eventually.
And say sorry to all your roommates who had to deal with you doing a pod in the hotel room. Yes.
Okay, bye
It's fine.
everyone.
They just got kicked out.